What would you give to have your baby sleep 10 hours in a row without waking you? Right? For a lot of people, that would be amazing. For a lot of people, that would be a dream come true. But for a lot of you, that just means a 5 o'clock wake up, right? And so today I want to give you some tips for dealing with your early riser. Now, the good news is that your child's doing well, sleeping pretty consolidated through the night. They're just not quite sleeping long enough. And I get it. Hey, if the clock says 5:59, that feels so much worse than 6, doesn't it? So I don't want anyone up in the 5 o'clock hour either. So the first thing to monitor is how long has your child been sleeping consolidatedly through the night. So if you've just started the Sleep Sense program and you're only a week or two into it, it is very, very common to have early morning wake-ups. It just means that your baby's body is learning how to consolidate nighttime sleep. They just haven't quite got there all the way yet. So my best advice, if that's the scenario, is just to give it more time. Stick to your minimum. Don't let baby get up at 5 because that is where it will stay. Stick to your minimum, and my recommendation is nothing earlier than 6 a.m. And gradually over time, your child will start sleeping until at least 6, maybe even a little bit later. All right, so let's say though that you've done that. You're weeks into the program, he's sleeping great, but you just cannot crack this 5 o'clock wake up. I'm going to give you a few things you can try. One is to monitor the environment. That's the number one reason why a baby is waking prematurely. It is light or noise. Now, all of us, our bodies are so deeply, much more deeply than people realize, connected to light and darkness. The tiniest shift in darkness levels will stimulate a wake up in just about everybody. But we would look at the clock and realize it's only 4:30 in the morning, I'm going to go back to sleep now. A toddler or a baby's not going to have that ability. So you want to make sure that you keep out morning light as long as you possibly can. So I don't want it to change at all, and that's going to be tough, right? You're going to have to go a little further than just blackout blinds. It might actually mean that you have to tape the blackout blinds to the wall around the window so that really no light is coming in the morning to keep that baby sleeping longer. So that's number one. The second is environmental noise, and it can be as subtle as the heater kicking in. I'm not kidding you. It can be that light of a noise, and it's going to stimulate a wake up because at that time in the morning we're doing a lot of REM sleep, and REM sleep is very light. Very easy to wake a child from REM sleep. So I can remember when my son was a baby and my husband liked to get up to go to the gym in the mornings before 6, I wouldn't even let him brush his teeth. I wouldn't even let him flush the toilet. Like, you just basically get up out of that bed and float to the door and leave as quietly as you possibly can because I do not want that baby waking up so early. So monitor what could be causing a wake up. Is it any kind of noise going on? A simple solution to that is running some sort of white noise in the child's room. A white noise machine, even a fan can work well, just to sort of mask out any kind of change in the environmental noise. All right? Now, another tip would be to stick to your minimum, right? If you let a child get up earlier, even little bites, right? Just 10 minutes a day, then now it's 20 minutes, now it's 30, now it's an hour. I find that if you let a child get up earlier than your minimum, it does start to backslide, okay? You could try going in quickly. Now, at the 5 o'clock hour, they're feeling rested, but not rested enough. So sometimes going in quickly, right? As soon as you hear a little stir in there, you go in quickly and you remind them that it's still sleepy time. You tuck them back in, or you give them back their lovey. Maybe you stroke the forehead a couple of times, and then you make your exit. Sometimes you can convince them that it's not time to get up yet, and they'll slide back to sleep. If you wait, now she's up and she's standing up, and now she starts to cry. She's going to get her adrenaline going, and once that happens, it's pretty much game game over until your minimum. So give that a shot. It's worth a try. It might work, it might not work, but eventually this will subside. You know, I had a friend who had the most difficult case I've ever experienced in my life of early morning wake-ups. And at some point we had to just make peace with the fact that he was an early riser. We did everything, we tried everything, we made the environment just perfect. We gave him lots of opportunity, but he just was an early riser. The good news is now he's 14 and he sleeps till noon. So it won't last forever, but you might get stuck in it for the short term. And again, just keep in mind that they're doing well through the rest of the night. It might mean you need to go to bed a little earlier for the short term just to get yourself through this, but it will come around with time. Thanks for watching. Sleep well.